Chosen one, stop. Not gently, not halfway. Stop completely. Put your thoughts on pause. Silence the mental noise. Do not scroll. Do not multitask. Do not let your attention fracture. Because what I'm about to say is not casual. It's not motivational filler. It's not something you can have here while doing something else. It's time to tell you everything. Yes, everything. You have been sensing that something was building, that there was more happening behind the scenes than you could see, that your life has felt like a setup for something you can't yet explain. And you were right, but no one has told you the full truth until now. Chosen one, you have not been delayed. You have been concealed. There is a difference. You thought you were overlooked. You thought you were forgotten. You thought you were stuck in cycles that didn't make sense. But heaven was hiding you on purpose, because exposure before preparation destroys purpose. You were not being ignored. You were being insulated. And now the insulation is lifting. It's time to tell you everything. You have been fighting battles that were never just about you. The exhaustion you felt, the heaviness you couldn't explain, the emotional waves that came without warning, that was resistance against your future. Because the enemy doesn't fight average, he fights potential. And you, chosen one, carry disruptive potential. You disrupt generational patterns. You disrupt toxic cycles. You disrupt spiritual stagnation. Your existence alone challenges darkness, and that is why your life has felt like a battlefield. But here is the part no one told you. You were never meant to stay in survival mode. Survival was phase 1. You have mastered endurance. You know how to survive betrayal. You know how to survive disappointment. You know how to survive loneliness. You know how to survive being misunderstood. But survival is not your destiny. Influence is. And influence requires unveiling. For years, you operated in hidden strength. You learned restraint instead of reaction, discernment instead of impulse, silence instead of chaos. You thought you were just maturing. You were being sharpened. You thought you were just coping. You were being constructed. Chosen one, here is what you need to understand. There is a mantle on your life. Not for applause, not for attention, but for impact. And impact cannot be released into a distracted mind. That's why this message feels urgent, because you are standing at a threshold. You can feel it. Things don't feel the same anymore. Old habits feel heavy. Old conversations feel shallow. Old environments feel misaligned. That's not boredom. That's evolution. You are outgrowing the room. And the room is starting to feel it. People respond differently to you now. Some pull away. Some observe quietly. Some test your boundaries. It's because your energy shifted, and energy reveals rank. You have leveled up internally, and not everyone can walk with you there. It's time to tell you something else. The isolation you experienced was not rejection. It was training. You needed to hear God without interference. You needed to build confidence without applause. You needed to learn obedience without audience. And you did. Even when you were tired. Even when you were confused. Even when you almost gave up. You stayed. And heaven took note. You think your silent endurance went unnoticed? It didn't. You think your tears in private meant nothing? They meant everything. You think your prayers whispered into the dark were unheard? They were recorded. Chosen one, the shift you feel now is unveiling. You are being repositioned publicly for what was built privately. But there is a warning inside this blessing. You cannot carry your old mindset into your new level. You cannot carry insecurity into influence. You cannot carry people-pleasing into authority. You cannot carry fear into calling. This is the crossroads. It's time to tell you what's next. There are doors opening that will not require force. Opportunities will appear that feel aligned instead of stressful. Connections will form that feel peaceful instead of chaotic. Because when you stop chasing, alignment starts attracting. You are stepping into magnetic favor. But favor tests character, and your character has already been forged. That's why you survived the fire. Fire reveals composition, and yours did not crumble. Now listen carefully. Some of the people who left were assignments, not companions. They were catalysts, not community. They were meant to awaken you, not stay with you. Stop grieving what completed its purpose. The next season requires clean hands and clear vision. You are not meant to drag expired relationships into destiny. You are not meant to resurrect versions of yourself God already healed. It's time to tell you everything. You are not small. You are not invisible. You are not behind. You are strategically positioned, and heaven is increasing your capacity. Your intuition will sharpen. Your peace will deepen. Your confidence will stabilize. You will speak less and impact more. You will move slower but accomplish greater. You will feel less chaos but more clarity. That's elevation. And elevation demands alignment. Chosen one, hear this final truth clearly. You are not becoming someone new. You are remembering who you were before fear shaped you, before rejection silenced you, before trauma armored you. The real you is bold. The real you is discerning. The real you is spiritually anchored. And that version is rising. You cannot unsee this now. You cannot unknow this now. You are no longer surviving. You are emerging. And what emerges from hidden places carries weight. Before you leave this moment, breathe deeply. Feel the shift. This was not hype. This was revelation. If something inside you awakened while listening, if you felt recognition instead of emotion, if you sensed confirmation instead of emotion, then type "I receive" in the comments. Not as routine, as agreement. Subscribe if you are ready to keep walking in clarity. And share this with someone who is standing at the same threshold you just crossed. Chosen one, it's time. And now you know everything. Chosen one, this is the final word. No urgency now, no pressure, just truth. You asked for clarity, and today you received it. You felt the shift. You recognized the conviction. You sensed that this wasn't just another message. This was alignment knocking. And now that you've heard it, you can't go back to not knowing. You are not behind in life. You are not forgotten by heaven. You are not wandering without direction. You were being prepared. Everything that stretched you strengthened you. Everything that hurt you shaped you. Everything that left you cleared space for what is coming. Nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the silence, not the confusion, not even the seasons that almost broke you. You survived because you were sustained. You endured because you were covered. You're still here because you are called. Now walk forward differently. Not louder, wiser. Not rushed, steady, not anxious, anchored. You don't need to force your future. You need to protect your alignment. Guard your peace, honor your growth, listen when God nudges, respond when conviction whispers. You are stepping into a season where clarity replaces chaos, and you will not have to beg for what is meant for you. Chosen one, you were never random. You were chosen. And now you know. Go forward in quiet confidence. Heaven isn't finished with you. Chosen one, before you close this, do not rush past what just happened. Sit in this for a moment. You didn't just listen to words, you crossed a line. There was a version of you that clicked on this message, and there is a different version of you reading this outro. More aware, more aligned, more intentional. That shift, that wasn't emotion. That was awakening. You felt conviction without shame. You felt clarity without confusion. You felt peace without being forced. That is what happens when truth reaches the spirit. Now hear this carefully. Do not let this become inspiration that fades in an hour. Seal it. If you know in your heart that this message was timed, if you know God has been trying to get your attention, if you feel the weight of transition and you're ready to step fully into alignment, type "I choose alignment" in the comments. Not casually, not emotionally, intentionally. Let it be your declaration that you are done drifting, done shrinking, done postponing obedience, done ignoring the voice that has been pursuing you. This is not about engagement. This is about agreement. And if this message strengthens something in you, subscribe and turn on notifications, not out of routine, but because consistency builds clarity. You don't need random motivation. You need sustained alignment. And if someone came to your mind while listening, someone distracted, tired, spiritually distant, share this with them. You may be the interruption heaven uses in their life. Chosen one, do not walk away unchanged. Carry this awareness into your day. Guard your focus. Protect your peace. Respond when God nudges. Because this wasn't coincidence. It was calling. And now that you've heard it, walk like someone who was chosen.